I can hear the neighbors talking next door because my air conditioning is in the window and the window's open slightly. So the guy has a really deep voice. It's very intimidating. Apologies are weird. Apologies are very, very strange. Teachers make you apologize as a kid. Like, they're like, I want you to apologize and shake hands. But I've just always thought it was interesting, the concept of apologizing under pressure from somebody else to do so. Is that worth anything? Does an apology that you're forced to give mean anything at all? And then sometimes, so like as a kid, right? Teacher says apologize, or your parents say apologize to your sibling, whatever. Like, you know, you do it with this kind of snide, sarcastic tone, and parents like, no, give a sincere apology. Well, it's not so much a matter of just changing my tone to be more pleasant and inviting. It is a matter of me really internalizing the event and coming to the honest conclusion that I was in the wrong. But you can't force that. You can talk with somebody and maybe give leading suggestions or whatever that might get them there, but that's all that you can hope for, is that they might get there on their own based on what you can point them in the right direction to see what you think is the most ethical thing. But you cannot make anybody sincerely feel sorry under pressure. If anything, you're going to push people in the opposite direction, that they feel like they even more need to justify what they did. There's a story from The Last Dance that I don't know. I really like it. It's where Michael Jordan talks about how, like, Dennis Rodman did some on the court antics, got himself kicked out of the game. Scottie Pippen wasn't playing that game, and so Michael Jordan was out there all on his own, and Michael Jordan was pretty mad at him. And Dennis Rodman came to his hotel room later that night and just asked, "Hey, Mike, do you have an extra cigar?" And apparently Dennis Rodman never did that, and it was his way of acknowledging, hey, I made a mistake tonight. And he apparently never said that he was sorry, but then after that, as Michael said, he was like straight as an arrow. Like, he kept his act together and he managed to get them through, 3 consecutive championships. I don't know if that was before the first champion or what, but regardless, whatever season it was, they won a championship that season that Dennis Rodman was with them. Just a really interesting story. Like, even with the worst attitude, like Dennis Rodman always seemed to have, and a very combative tone, even he has some self-reflective capabilities to him. And I mean, it is just a classic action speak louder than words. It really, really is. I mean, I don't even care if you try to present yourself as a particularly nice person or not, as long as you stick by your word. There's just nothing that drives me up a wall more than an apology and a swearing that you're going to change and then not doing it. It's come to the point that apologies mean so little to me. Talk in general about what you're going to do means so little to me. And that's coming from me as well. Like, when I decide that I'm going to do something, these days I'm triple guessing. Okay, are you actually going to do that, Joe? Are you actually going to do that? Now, maybe that presents its own problems, but it's just, I know myself. I make enormous promises to people around me and myself. But yeah, and then I guess the last thing on apologies is just that there's no such thing as being owed an apology. Like, you can feel like you were mistreated, but there's no such thing as being owed that person reflecting, realizing that what they did was wrong, and then apologizing to you. If anybody ever says, you owe me an apology, or you owe this person an apology, whatever, that's just your opinion, and it could be a very ethically sound opinion. It could be a very fact-based opinion, but there's nothing... Nobody owes anybody anything, really, from like a universal perspective. It's, and nobody owes you their remorse. And the only reason why I need to say that, if I sound like I'm being judgy, is because I've waited many, many years for apologies from certain people that I'm never going to receive. And it just makes me it's made me come to a lot more internal peace just to realize, hey, I'm not owed anything by them. I'm never going to be able to control their assessment of the situation. I'm never going to be able to control whether or not they think they were in the wrong. All that I can control is just how I respond to the way that they are now. And if I treat them kindly, give them respect, and then they want to apologize, that's just gravy. But by then, I will not have cared because I will have just come to my own peaceful resolution.